A lot of movies premiered during Toronto International Film Festival, but one that was making the rounds because of the audience reaction, because the person involved was The Whale, starring Brendan Fraser. Brendan Fraser, who it seems like he's had a pretty rough go of it the last several years in terms of where he's working, getting jobs in Hollywood, things like that. But with this movie and with other things he's in now, it definitely seems like there's a Brendan Fraser resurgence that's coming. And listen to the reaction that he got at the end of The Whale. It was like a 6-minute standing ovation for him. They eventually had to stop so they could continue with the Q&A. But look at how emotional he gets over this. And I could continue playing this for 2 minutes. I'm not going to, but suffice to say, these videos were all over. However, when it comes to The Whale, which is about a very overweight person, some people aren't very happy about that, including some people who write for Rolling Stone. Rolling Stone film critic warns against seeing The Whale because, quote, it reinforces the notion that fat people have brought their suffering upon themselves through lack of coping skills. Interesting take, isn't it? Maybe the majority of fat people maybe done it themselves by overeating or overindulging or something like that. What a crazy statement to make. According to Rolling Stone film critic Katie Rife, audiences of all body shapes and sizes should avoid seeing Brendan Fraser's return to the silver screen, The Whale, because it reinforces the notion that fat people are objects of pity who have brought their suffering upon themselves through a lack of coping skills. This is a little bit about it, but it follows the struggle of Charlie, Brendan Fraser, a 600-pound man who, after years of shutting himself inside and binge eating to cope with his guilt over leaving his family, attempts to turn his life around, starting by reconnecting with his now 17-year-old daughter. Won a ton of awards, stuff like that. I'll be real. Again, I don't really care what critics think. I don't really care what awards that something wins at a film festival. That's yet to be determined by the audience that actually goes and sees it. However, one critic who did not find herself pleased with her time with The Whale was Katie Rife, who took to Twitter following her attendance of the film's premiere. Let's just go through this Twitter thread, shall we? Oh, wait, weird. Only people that she mentioned can reply. Turn the replies off. That's interesting, huh? I can't recommend in good conscience that fat people watch The Whale. Wonder if she's speaking from personal experience here. Does anyone have a guess on that? I can't recommend skinny people watch it either, since it reinforces the notion that fat people are objects of pity who have brought their suffering upon themselves through lack of coping skills. Massive red flags for EDs and fat phobia. The main character endures over an hour of the cruelest verbal abuse imaginable and later tries to commit suicide by food. I've dealt with bulimia and binge eating disorder on and off for years and found it incredibly triggering. You could tell that no actual fat peoples were involved in the... Hold on. I tried to get through this without fucking laughing. We've heard a lot of things about Hollywood. We've heard that they need a certain amount of black people involved. They need a certain amount of gay people involved, certain amount of whatever. Now, you need to make sure that fat people, we need fatties on set. That's the recommendation now. You can tell that no actual fat peoples were involved in production because of a major plot point where the protagonist is dying but refused to go to the hospital even though he has money to pay the bills. The movie treats this as a combination of selflessness and suicidality, never considering the very obvious reason why a 650-pound person would avoid doctors. It's called medical fat phobia, you absolute pricks! Please excuse the typos. I'm really feeling like shit after that viewing experience. There's a scene where the main character drops a key and can't pick it up, and people were laughing. And yes, Brendan Fraser is very good. Most of the humanity, sensitivity, sympathy of that movie comes from his performance. Listen, I understand that Katie was probably very out of breath while actually typing this out, probably because she was forced to walk up a flight of stairs or something. This is laughable. That this is your criticism of the show and that you would make it public. I guess that's why you turned your replies off because you knew what would happen. This is an absolute joke. That this is your criticism, that it doesn't do enough to make you feel like it's not fat people's faults, even in a movie where they're trying to show you, hey, yeah, this person got overweight because of this terrible thing that happened, because of this terrible instance in his life, and he finally had to come to terms with that and deal with it. this what you're doing because it promotes medical fat phobia or something like that? There is a push right now. There's a lot of talk about misinformation, medical misinformation, all this stuff. You know what the media has been pushing for a long time? Medical misinformation over being obese. It's not a healthy thing. You can be proud of your body. You can feel comfortable in your skin, whatever. That's all on you. But don't pretend like there's something healthy about it. Don't pretend like doctors telling people to lose weight is fat phobic. No, it's just sound medical advice for your life. But Brendan Fraser's The Whale certainly has people talking. I'm pretty interested in it, especially if it triggered this Rolling Stone film critic. Just based off her review, now I'm definitely going to go see it. Thanks for watching, everyone. And a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.